Welcome to Chronic Combat Conversations, a live look at our best bets, picks, and predictions for every UFC event. With your hosts, TB Scouting MMA and
The Guru, back again for UFC Vegas 76. Sean Strickland taking on Magomedov in your middleweight main event. Crazy fight. Guy only has one UFC fight, taking on the perennial main event guy now in Sean Strickland. Super exciting bout. But before we can get into this card, we've got an unbelievable guest in the building. Coming off another one. Coming off another winning week last week. We've got Cody from Blood Money MMA Bets, man. Go check out his YouTube, Blood Money MMA. Sign up. I mean, if you're not already, that's crazy. Always going live.
Link in description.
Done. Cody, what the fuck is good, my man?
Everything, man. I'm finally on your guys' show. I've been waiting for this for a while, man. I love this show. Of course, we had you on a couple weeks ago on our show, and it was awesome.
Dude, can we tell you, other than the horrific internet problems we were having that day, which was insane. We've never had those. I mean, we literally had the best time, and would love to come back any other time, man, for real.
Definitely, dude. It was super fun. I know Johnny loved having you guys on, and it was a good show, and we're gonna have a great show tonight. Definitely breaking down this card, man. This is a really good card. It's a tough card, you know. I think a lot of people, including myself, before tape, thought it was going to be kind of an easy betting card, but also the casino and bookies have the lines up there pretty high. Like everything seems juiced on this, even the over unders, money lines, all that stuff. So
it's a tough one, man. And like you said, it's not so clear cut. While you may think you have the right pick, are you really going to want to pay the price in this economy at some of these people? So before we get started here, guys, the first thing I got to ask, one, Cody, Blood Money MMA Bets, his link is in the description. Make sure you follow him. And two, please throw a like on this video while you're here. Subscribe to our channel at Chronic Combat. Make sure you follow us everywhere. And we really do this for you guys. So shout out to everyone in the chat. Daz Files, always in the house, always supporting the show and everyone in the community.
Yes.
And Odd Smoker MMA. Love this guy too. He's always got great content.
Steve,
out there, so
what's up?
Let's go, baby. So without further ado, I mean, let's not waste any more time because we've got the middleweight main event. We got Sean Strickland versus Ismagulov, or is it Abu Sapien? But is he Abus the Homo Sapien Magomedov? I think that's the best nickname. And listen, it has nothing to do with anything. I'm just saying.
He's the person.
Stating facts.
Exactly, the human. You know, versus Sean Tarzan Strickland. So really, I mean, come on, man. Like we got a little battle here, huh?
This is a really, really interesting matchup. Everybody's been saying that there was no other matchup for Sean Strickland. Like, I don't really necessarily buy into that shit. I really don't. I feel like they think they have something with Abus. And my buddy Zach on Twitter was mentioning that, I mean, obviously, you get if Abus steals this one here, all of a sudden he's top 5, top 7 heading into October Abu Dhabi, which is, you know, what the UFC would want. So let me tell you one more thing. The line has me sketched. The line did that similar Marvin Vettori, Jared Cannonier universal correction, where you saw Strickland at like minus 180, and then it boom, you saw minus 130, minus 140, and now you kind of see him maybe sitting around minus 150 now.
I mean, I get it. I get what you're saying. A lot of that happened quick and then closer to fight day on the Vettori side. I don't want to make any crazy. Sure, it did.
It did. That line corrected itself Sunday night, right after the fight, right? Saturday night, right after the fight. You woke up Sunday morning. You literally woke up Sunday morning. You had the minus 145 Marvin Vettori. He was minus 115.
But it already rebounded. Like it didn't quite rebound last week at this point. It waited until closer to fight time for it to get really wider again on the. It's already getting wider on the Strickland side again.
Is it going back up on? I seen it was going back down.
Yeah.
Dude, I do not get it. I don't.
It's
get
crazy.
The Abus love, anyways. Like how like betting on it because he's just so unproven. Like he looks good. He looks the part. He looks like from Dagestan and all that, but like he's just never really fought anybody.
Can get Sean Strickland right now minus 138.
Holy crap! Yeah,
yeah.
I bet him at minus 165, and I just think everything in this fight favors Strickland. Even the small cage favors his style, so Abus can't be out moving around. Then even if he could, like Abus's style is a lot like a Imagulov style, except the Imagulov has a lot better movement, and none of that matters when like Strickland just crowds you. You know what I mean? When he's right in your face and you can't really get a bunch of your stuff off. I know that front kick up the middle from Stolfus looked really good from Abus. And he's got powerful striking in both hands, but I just think Sean Strickland's been in there with so many great people with so much experience that he knows how to fight these big strikers. The only one that got him was Ferreira, obviously. Got him with the left hook. Abus does have a good left hook, but I think that Strickland, what he needs to do is just survive that first round, which Strickland's as durable as they come, you know what I mean? And just put pause on him like he did against Imagulov, like he did against like Brandon Allen and them, and just keep touching him, because it doesn't look like he's hitting hard, but he is. He's hitting decently hard. He's hitting a lot, and he's just touching the face the whole time. And then I think by that second and third round, he starts taking over, and in fourth and fifth, just like before. I don't know if he finishes Abus. We'll see how tough he is, if he's as tough as Imagulov, which I think he should be. But like he's like, if you look at it, he's only been in the cage. He's got he's 3-1 in the last 4.5 years. Like in really in the last 4.5 years, he's only fought 3 times, which he's 3-0. But he's only got 3 minutes of cage time because he was fighting lower level people. And besides Stolfus, but he's nowhere near Sean Strickland. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this dude's fought 3 minutes in 4.5 years, and he's going to come in against a dude that spars every single day. Then fighting 5-round fights, went 5 tough rounds with Jared Cannonier and possibly could have won that. I don't see how people think Strickland's or Abus is going to come in here and he's better than Jared Cannonier, like in any way. And I don't think he comes in and just knocks Strickland out. Like, so I think
that I do feel is kind of like Abus's path, right? Like I don't think that Abus is going to come out here and outpace Sean Strickland to a decision, out wrestle Sean Strickland to a decision. However, like you watched him fight, I believe his teammate, right, in Satabuisi in PFL, and you watched him grind him out to a decision. I am curious as to if Eric Nixick, kind of remembers this guy and has something specific tailored up, drawn up for Sean, and if Sean would even be willing to listen. I kind of hear rumblings that Sean Strickland maybe has like a foot injury, like did I
toe
hear that?
injury.
Yeah, so like is that playing into any of this at all? I just the way that Abus fights, he lifts his leg up like Charles Oliveira style. And it's just kind of the again the power and the way that he's going to use his own range, because he does maintain his range well, and he's going to have 2 inches of reach on Strickland, and that's essentially what Strickland ended up struggling with Cannonier, was that little bit of range. And I'm just, man, maybe it's just because I'm seeing too much similarities with the Vettori and Cannonier line, and I was on the wrong side of that and just missed something in the tape, obviously, and the fact that it was, we were just talking about it off air. I put so much credence into the stats that Jared Cannonier's low volume, and then he puts out the most strikes in middleweight history. And it's like, damn, you're fucking dumb for sticking to that. Like that was the miss. That was when you missed on tape. So
right. Well, see, like if you in the Strickland Cannonier fight, Cannonier actually outlanded Strickland in the 5th round. That's how I knew he was going to be fine against Vettori. Vettori just he don't hit hard enough to I put when I put the bet out that like Cannonier was going to be backing Vettori up the whole time because he just didn't hit hard enough, but Strickland hits a little harder, I think, than Vettori. And Strickland's a big dude. Like when Abus beat Saudi boy or whatever, Sai, he had to grapple him for like the last 2 rounds, because in the first round the striking was pretty close and he kept trying to grapple him, but in the second and third he used that grappling to win. And he's not going to be able to out grapple Strickland like that. I don't think. Like Strickland's like, and he's just like a level. Like Strickland's a top 5 dude, like a legit, like Abus is ranked like 43rd in the world right now. And Strickland did say, I watched the interview a couple months ago when he announced this fight, and then he did or not an interview, I think he just like made a post, but he said he was trying to he took this fight just to keep busy because nobody in the top 5 or 10 was available for the next couple months. He's like, and I need to fight. I want to make money. So, and it's risky for him. You know what I mean? Because Abus is tough as hell and he's unknown, but like he hasn't beat for me, like Abus hasn't beat anybody great. We haven't seen him really out of the 3rd round besides with Sadie Boy Sai, dude. That's how he made it. He went to the decision with him, but most of the time he's getting finishes. And Sean Strickland's a notoriously durable dude. And like, is what happens with Abus once it gets to the 3rd round, the 4th round, with Sean just in his face, touching it, boom, boom. So to me, it's like a 1st or 2nd round Abus knockout, or after that, Sean takes over. And I'm going to take the experience, the toughness, the pressure, the footwork, like the striking defense. But I'm going to be worried that 1st and 2nd round that he don't get kicked in the face and all that stuff.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly. Because he's like, it's tough. Because he's like a notoriously tough and durable dude that also has lost 2 of his last 3 fights by 1st round knockout. So it's like, and that is this guy's path. So I think if you want to be on Abus, I think maybe you even take the dart throw. I think you take the round 1, round 2 knockout prop. Like, I think you just play it that way. Otherwise, I like Sean Strickland in over 1.5, and I kind of like playing this fight out. They give you a weird fucking line in over 3.5. Like, what an arbitrary figure. So I kind of lean fight going the distance, and just like Sean beating the piss out of him. So you can get like over 4.5 at plus money, which is I just think an option you kind of are forced to take. Over 4.5 at minus 110. Fight goes the distance at plus 100, and I'm sure FanDuel will give me a better line.
What's over 3.5?
That is
minus 145. I never got to introduce the line. Was minus 150 Strickland, plus 130 Magomedov. The over 3.5 minus 145. The under 3.5 plus 180. We're 12 minutes deep, and TB is getting his chance here, people. That's it. We're pulling through. I got Sean Strickland here, and I think his volume pulls out. And if Magomedov does go for the wrestling approach here, Strickland is generally the guy that's only going to use the wrestling to turn it around on someone that tries to use it first, aka like Brendan Allen. And I think we could get a bully beatdown. I'm tentative to play an over where I think Strickland actually could get this guy out of there. Someone that's lost twice by submission, not only the knockout where we see him get starched early in PFL. I don't think Abus is the only guy live for a finish here. So I'm going to just take the Strickland money line and not fuck around with any of these overs because, like you're saying, how can we trust Abus to even survive into championship rounds? If you're picking against Abus, I wouldn't be picking this guy to survive here. I mean, 3 out of his 4 losses have been by finish. So really, you want to say that Strickland's going to win by a definitive over? I mean, the over 1.5, I get it. But I will say, if this guy really doesn't belong and this is too big a step, Strickland's finished a fucking guy that doesn't belong there before. And I think there's a reason Brendan Allen doesn't want to face Roman Dolidze. So I'll leave it at that. And any final thoughts for you guys on this one? I mean, I think the minus 150 Strickland is going to be enough.
Yeah, I like Strickland. I'm probably going to play minus 138. I really wanted to play devil's advocate with Cody because he already put his money where his balls are. You know what I'm saying? So he already placed his bet. So I really wanted to pick his brain about it. But that is where I was. I'm just fucking scared. But let's go, baby. Sean Strickland. Just I have to say it. Abus Magomedov round 1 knockout is plus 1,000, guys. So
that's nice.
Yeah.
One more thing I would say too, that the UFC is definitely not trying to build up Abus here though. They love Sean Strickland, dude. They want him because and if you think about it, he's the only person in the top 5 that hasn't fought Izzy. You know, I mean, you got Marvin, Cannonier, all them dudes already got beat by Izzy. So even Whitaker twice, all these guys. So
talk about a hell of a media week.
I think they like how game he is for the company, but I don't think that means that they give a shit about his success.
Right.
Because he's clearly a gatekeeper, and they don't want him as champion because he's literally telling how women should be back in the kitchen. Like he
does some crazy.
I mean,
stuff,
he's
dude,
fucking a step. Like you can't even. He says it with this big goofy smile. You can't even like take him so seriously because like even if he has these thoughts, he's not like. I don't know. I mean, he is kind of preaching it, but like you don't actually nobody takes him seriously, so it doesn't really.
But he'll bring eyes to the show. You know what I mean? Like he'll bring extra eyes that might not have been there before, just because he talks so much.
like his media week during the Ferreira Izzy first
Right,
matchup
right.
was like kind of what
Do you
made.
want him as your champion? Do you want to
Nah.
give him? Do you want to give Sean Strickland
I don't think
pay-per-view
so.
points?
No, but
No.
if for a couple times it would be funny as shit. Like it would, like for the UFC, because they wouldn't know what to do because you don't know what that dude's gonna say and stuff.
Exactly.
It's wild.
They would probably, if he became champion, they would probably give him media training. Like legitimately.
They already probably should have. That dude is crazy. But yeah, I just think though that, man, he's so much more experienced. I got to pick Sean Strickland. I've seen him beat up tough ass dudes, and I have not seen Ibis do that yet. That knockout on PFL was wild too. When he got knocked out, he got like hit with that left hook over his glove, and he like double knocked out himself in the air, and then just hit the ground out cold. It was so weird.
That knockout from Luis Taylor was honestly really crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it didn't even like watching it live, you could barely even tell it like hit him clean too. So I just don't think Strickland really presents that type of ability.
No, not that power.
Quick, but onto our big time featherweight co-main event. We got Damir Kazakh, but not spelled how you might think, Ismagulov, versus Grant KGD Dawson. So GD is Grant Dawson. What does the K stand for in the KGD? I need to know. Does he have a first name? And
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, is Grant his middle name and he goes by Grant? What is KGD? We need answers. Anyways, we're gonna get down to this matchup. Damir Ismagulov opened up as like what minus 150, minus 160 favor here, and down to a minus 115. Grant Dawson now sitting at minus 105. The over 2.5 minus 220. Under 2.5 plus 180. Grant Dawson gonna be 2 years younger, have a 1-inch height advantage and a 2-inch reach advantage. And I think he's got the ability to get a takedown, get a backpack, even if it's not a full takedown. I think he's going to be able to take the back here along the fence and ultimately make Ismagulov give in to the grappling. I don't think Ismagulov is going to get the game he wants. Just a distance fight on the feet comfortably. Dawson will make it an ugly fight, and Ismagulov only has one knockdown listed in the UFC for all of his tenure. I mean, he's 5-1. Every single one of his fights went to decision, and he is going to be the smaller guy here. The guys that Dawson struggled taking down seem to have been a bit bigger and able to kind of keep away from guys taking their back, whereas to get up to his feet, Damir Ismagulov turtles and just gives up his back against a guy that's going to use the body triangle versus Arman Sarukian that tries to just put hooks in and go for ground and pound and damage. Dawson's going to control you once he gets you down. So seeing, Dawson's actively shooting over 10 takedowns a fight consistently when it gets extended, I mean, I'm down for Dawson.
I'm down with the sickness. Listen, gotta love when you get on a line early enough and then you watch that line disappear and you can't get it anymore. So we've got, what do we have, plus 110 on Grant Dawson? So we're comfortable on a dog shot with Grant Dawson, who I think will end up closing the favorite. The younger guy with who's taller with more reach, and you watch somebody in Damir. Yeah, sure, he's got good scrambles, but he continuously gives up his hips and continuously gives up that same position. So it would be a problem against somebody who isn't gonna spam wrestle you. But we have seen fight over fight over fight over fight of Grant Dawson spam wrestling. So we know he's going to spam wrestle. And I feel also very comfortable when you look at his control stats here that he's going to land a significant amount of control time in this fight as well. So I just don't really – I mean, Damir needs to not only keep it standing, but piece him up on the feet and make Grant gas out. And I'm just not necessarily convinced he can do that when you even look at the pace numbers and they still aren't in Damir's favor. And they both have a fairly significant sample size. So Grant Dawson plus money, like possibly our favorite bet of the week here. So Cody, what do you like?
Yeah, man. Grant Dawson at dog money's pretty good. This fight's so tough to call. I predicted Ismagulov. I thought I wanted to bet him, but there's just so much stuff going on. I think he's coming in shape. Like, I don't think he's just like fighting this to honor his UFC contract and all that stuff. But it's weird. I know these guys train together at ATT. So it's like the bookie started it at one price, and then it makes me think somebody might know something. I picked Ismagulov. Like I said, I couldn't get to betting him, but I picked him because I think he does have the wrestling to keep this fight standing. where he can win the striking. My thing is, the only reason I didn't bet him is a little bit of that little narrative stuff, but also I can see in the back of my mind, just like you guys are saying, like Dawson taking him down and taking his back and controlling him. Arman Sarukian wasn't able to control him a ton, I think, till a little bit in the third round. But before that, he was able to land the takedowns and just control him against the fence. And Grant Dawson, man, he used to gas and stuff, but ever since going down to ATT, he's looked excellent. Like his cardio, he's actually finishing dudes in the third round now, where before he was dying in the third. So that's a big thing. It all made me stay away. I'm just going to watch this. It should be an excellent fight. And I mean, I guess even when the fight starts, whoever you can get at dog money, you probably did pretty good, you know?
Yeah. I appreciate that. I definitely feel like if this fight stays standing from distance and Ismagulov is looking like classic Kazakh Damir Ismagulov, then yeah, we're going to be in a bad place. But I don't think that guy necessarily. I think he's a bit timid on the feet, and I think he lets people get inside. So even if Dawson isn't 100% successful, he's going to win 2 out of 3 rounds in my book.
Yeah, I'm not as worried, man. Even like you look at his best win, which would probably be the Thiago Moises win, and that win is in 2019. I'm not really sure where he's even at in his. I mean, he looked decent in versus Arman Sarukian. Obviously, he continued to get up, but I mean, that was really it, right? I mean, he wasn't in any.
Would you?
I mean, did he look like he was going to win the fight at any point?
No, but he was good. But here's one thing: what would the line be, and who would you pick in Guram versus Dawson?
Well, I like Guram's grappling a lot better than Damir's defensive grappling. So I would think that Grant would have less of an ability to take his back than I've seen from, like, Damir is really good as the hammer, but I've seen like he's willing to give up his back, and specifically against a guy like Dawson, like
who keeps taking the back.
Exactly.
Right. He just keeps going out, and specifically Monk, like it's the first thing he does versus Mark Madsen. Like immediately gets to the back. Like he's immediately taking the left, and he's also doing the same thing that Arman Sarukian did in the fuck do they call that when you grab the legs together with your legs? Lacing, like he laces the legs.
Triangle.
Yes, but like when you're on top of them and their asses on the canvas.
The leg lace.
The Khabib leg lace.
Oh yeah, handcuff, Dagestani handcuff thing.
Yes, with your legs and with their legs, exactly. So Grant Dawson does that immediately versus Mark Madsen. Arman Sarukian does it immediately versus Damir Ismagulov. I see Grant Dawson replicating it. I see that a lot of times in the matchmakers. The matchmakers continue to give certain fighters the specific style of fighter over and over again to see if they've addressed the hole. And this is the same style, and or at least it's similar enough with the grappling. So,
right.
Do you feel comfortable recommending the -105 to our viewers that we've taken the +110? Is that still a cool move to do, Guru?
I think if you're going to do it, I think you go a little lighter, and I think you just do Grant Dawson in the over 1.5. I still think you take your plus money and you just get a little saucy with it, because you know me, I like to get a little saucy.
I think this fight's so tough to really call. I just stay away from it,
and that's the best. That's the best advice you're going to hear, because like do we expect Grant Dawson to get a finish? No. So how the fuck can you bet on him when you know it's going to the judges?
And it's going to be close. It's going to be scrambles, and it's going to be close. It's going to be a good fight, but like I said, man, if you get some decent plus money, it's not too bad, especially on Dawson, younger guy, more on the come up, been looking real good lately. So.
Big dude.
What's fight to be a split decision? Very curious.
Yeah.
Let's see. Fight to be split is +400. I think that's interesting.
It's not even that high.
Nah.
There's so many splits. I can't believe I didn't bet the Ismagulov split.
Yeah. Pretty terrible. You would think it would be a higher number there too.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Not really. +400. I mean, +350 is basically the lowest they'll go, and I'm like, this fight's going the distance. So I think it's actually.
What's the other dude? I wasn't even meaning Ismagulov when we said that.
What's last week? Right?
Yeah, what's the dude? Patty with the Patty. haircut.
Oh, Zhumagulov.
Zumagulov. That's all right.
Zuma.
So
I can't believe we forgot that too. Oh my god.
Yeah. Did you guys bet his split?
No.
Nah.
Like that should have been the play of the year for everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just
classic.
Like, and I didn't know.
We all dropped the ball.
Yeah.
MMA Twitter dropped the ball.
We let the team down.
We let the team down. All right.
On to our next one here. We got Max Payne Griffin versus Michael, not Miles Morales. Into the UFC verse we go. We got Max Griffin, 37 years old. So he's going to be 13 years older than Morales. Morales going to be 1 inch taller with a 3-inch reach advantage. I will say, though, from watching his UFC tape, I was like distinctly unimpressed with his striking ability. But everything that they talk about him coming up to the UFC and through Dana White Contender Series, the dude is using his wrestling and grappling actively. So I'm like, when do we see that Michael Morales? Maybe this is a different multiverse version of Mr. Morales over here. Yeah, I guess if I see him actively using his grappling, I mean, Max Griffin, he's given up 16% control. He's against guys that have legitimate takedown offense. I mean, even Tim Means landing 3 out of 5 in their last fight. He doesn't get the most control out of it, but a guy like Morales, if he's really all that he's claimed up to be, if things aren't necessarily working great on the feet in the exchanges, he could switch to that. It's just minus 240 in this economy. I can't trust the 24-year-old against a guy that still has legit power, good footwork to avoid the initial takedown entries, as we saw against Ramiz Brahimaj. As bad as Ramiz Brahimaj is, but do you have a play here on Max Griffin? Is Morales a parlay piece, or are we looking for a prop here? Because over 2.5 minus 140, we've seen Griffin hurt plenty, and we know Morales has the knockout power. What happens in this fight here?
Man, I don't know. I like Michael Morales, and I don't know. I mean, he's kind of sketchy, and I get it. I just I guess the ruling that I guess I was hearing is that Max Griffin broke his hand in round 1 versus Tim Means, and maybe that's why he took round 2 off and then had to wrestle for round 3. I think Michael Morales is just in unbelievable shape. He's 13 years younger. He's going to be 1 inch taller and 3 inches of reach. He's going to be explosive and throw a decent amount of output because he's, like you already mentioned, he's not going to be afraid to go to the ground at all with Max. So I think he's just going to, just kind of have to worry about not getting knocked out, and he's just going to go for it. I kind of like the under 2.5 at plus 110. Because again, I think that Michael Morales with 11 KOs is a finisher. And I think if Max Griffin does catch Michael being stupid, I mean, we have seen that Max's only thing, he does have a little bit of power, right? That's like his only thing, really. He's kind of a lower volume striker that doesn't like to really wrestle either. And he's got good footwork and a little bit of power. So maybe he catches Michael being stupid. But that's it. I don't have any confidence that he's outpacing him, out clinching him, outworking him to a decision. So give me Michael Morales and give me the under 2.5 at plus money for some reason.
Yeah, this is like a weird fight, man. Like, I don't know. I like Michael Morales, but I can also see Max Griffin winning. Just because Michael Morales seems to slow down a little bit as the fight goes. And really all he does is box. He doesn't throw too many kicks. He doesn't, like you said, he's supposed to have good wrestling. He has good defensive wrestling. He's shown that, but he hasn't really shown offensive wrestling. A couple things worry me, just him being what would you say, 14 years younger? So that worries me about Max Griffin just being older. He's took more damage. His hands break, stuff like that in fights because he's a little bit older. But he is good. Like, I thought he beat Neil Magny when they fought. I watched that fight live in Columbus, and I thought he beat him. So he's still looking good. He looked good against Tim Means. But this Michael Morales, he hits hard, man. And I expect this to be a good fight. See, I'm going to take Michael Morales, not like a ton of confidence, especially because he's minus 250, but I do think he wins because I think he hits harder. I think he can absorb the shots that Max gives him and then crack Max and either drop him and hurt him and just land the bigger shots or finish him. But the thing is, I don't know if he'll finish him because Max is one of the most durable dudes there are. He's got what, 28 fights against some of the toughest people on earth, and he's only been finished one time, and that was by Colby Covington. That was like a ground and pound. I mean, he took a beating, but he gets dropped, but he doesn't really get finished. So that's where it's even weird for me. I couldn't make a pick on the over-under on this because I can see it going over because he's so durable, and I don't see him finishing Morales, but then I can also see Morales being that young, athletic dude that hits real hard that is able to finish an older Max Griffin. So, but the line is crazy, man. Like the line makes you want to play Max Griffin at plus 200 just for the experience. I think he throws more kicks. I think if anybody's going to try to grapple, it's going to be him. I don't really think it'll work because Morales is going to be bigger.
I got it, boys. What do you think about this? All right. Maybe it's crazy. How about a decision only on Max Griffin at plus 180?
So then if he gets knocked out,
you get your money back. If either finish, either one gets a finish.
As long as Max Griffin doesn't win a decision?
No, as long as Morales doesn't win a decision. So it's.
Yeah, but I think he could even win with some control wrestling. I mean,
yeah, he could win a decision.
Avoid submission.
You think Michael Morales can win a decision?
Yeah, of course he could. Like my main thing, like my thing says this fight goes to decision. I think it does. Like it's because Max Griffin's a wily vet, dude, and he's only been finished that one time.
Yeah.
And then, but like you said, like Morales, that's why I just stayed away from all that because Morales is a finisher. So it's like,
small cage too.
Morales he's not only undefeated, but he also has never been finished, obviously, because he's undefeated. But basically, you have guys that have never lost by finish, but then there's also guys that have legitimately just straight up never lost. And that's where you really have to, that's where we start looking for our trend of, well, they're not going to be finished. Okay, cool. So Max Griffin, he's shown some pretty good durability overall, but he gets wobbled like every fight. So the question is Morales the guy to finally, I think he's just going to be the first leg of the not in this economy parlay at minus 240. Funny. I don't want to lay each of these people individually to win one unit because I can't risk 10 units on all these motherfuckers, but we're going to have Michael Morales as leg one. We'll get to like plus 300 eventually, but we got to take like 4 fights to get there. And it's going to be 4 people that you really fucking can't trust on their own. So we'll have some fun here. Don't worry. So here we go. We're moving on. We got our next fight. We got Ariane Lipsky versus Melissa, the black eye at the press conference, Gatto. Ariane, the queen of violence, Lipsky. They both got really long nicknames. You got to deal with it. But yeah, or maybe is it Melissa El Gatto Gatto? Is she the cat?
There is no nickname for Miss Gatto.
Well, that's why I'm trying my best over here. Okay, can you blame a guy for doing his thing?
Yes,
but
I can.
Damn it, he's putting the blame on me. It's not my fault. It's what the people came here for. But we got Lipsky plus 185 and Gatto at minus 215. Over 2.5 at minus 140. Under 2.5 at plus 110. I'm just saying one's got Queen of Violence in their nickname, and then the other one has got a crazy submission prowess. I mean, the under 2.5 at plus money is just smacking me in the face right now. But I really think that the way that happens, though, given that Melissa Gatto, her only loss is by decision to a good grappler, a good wrestler, someone able to survive her submission attempts and control her. Gatto is pretty dangerous on the feet, and she's got good physique from musculature standpoint here. We're not looking at, I mean, JJ Aldrich was like a bag of fucking marshmallows out there. Jesus. Dog, like from consistency and color. Like I was staring at a bag of marshmallows fighting Ariane Lipsky. And when she was eating the knees in the clinch, like it was devastating. She really had no answer. When she couldn't land the takedown, she has a beautiful double leg set up and just completely lacked the athleticism to finish. Melissa Gatto, I think, has the athleticism, 1, to get in on the wrestling takedown attempts, 2, to use that athleticism to get into the position she needs to find a submission in this fight. I love Gatto in this spot. I can't bet her money line, but what I will recommend, throw her along with Michael Morales as your second leg, and then go ahead and we're going to go into our winning methods. Guru's going to tell me that they got a better line on FanDuel. But on DraftKings, the submission is plus 240. So tell me if you can beat that, Guru.
I don't know if FanDuel has shit up yet.
Well, fuck those guys then.
I know.
It's Melissa Gatto submission plus 240 and thrower along with Morales. Those are your first two legs in my little parlay.
You're parlaying Gatto by submission to
No. I said two things.
Not.
I said it. You were busy looking at something else when I said it first. So it's Gatto money line in the parlay because I don't want to play her straight solo, but to get a little prop out there separately. On this one, I feel good playing a prop. Let's get Gatto sub plus 240.
Yeah, I mean, if you like the sub, I think you go under. I think you take the under 2.5, like you kind of were saying.
Plus 110, just in case Lipsky pulls some shit off, right?
Yeah, but I don't think she will. I think, like you saying, Gatto's really tough, and she's going to continue to resort to the grappling. I don't really necessarily like Lipsky's takedown defense, or just really what happens to her if this fight goes to the ground. She's lost by ground and pound multiple times. She's been knocked out 4 times. So I just think it's a problem for her durability. And like, again, her win method is this fight staying on the feet. And I don't think Gatto plans to be there. So it's going to hit the mat, and that's going to be a problem.
Yeah, man. I agree with all that stuff. I think Gatto's got this. She's going to either get that submission or ground and pound. I mean, Shevchenko's sister, Antonia, the way she got beat in the UFC, every time she lost was people took her down and beat her up and finished her. And she was able to take down Lipsky and finish her. So that says a lot. So Lipsky has decent striking. She has decent Muay Thai, but man, her takedown defense is pretty terrible. And her get-up game's terrible. And really, I mean, her whole ground game's pretty terrible. So I'm going to take Gatto, and I think she finishes her. And I probably in that first or second round because she's very aggressive on the feet or on the ground. I didn't bet the under. The only reason I didn't bet the under, I wanted to bet Gatto. For my 5 bets, I found a different one that I put in. But I think she does get it done. But like when I like pick my over-unders, I like both people to be pretty good finishers. And I just don't see Lipsky finishing Gatto at all. So like I'm just basically betting on Gatto to get the finish. So I might as well just look at whatever Gatto by finishes rather than Lipsky. And then maybe even you get, if you do like the prop stuff, I really don't. But then maybe you get, Gatto by finish, so you get all 3 rounds instead of just taking like a over 2.5 at minus plus 115. I don't know what Gatto is inside the distance, but it might be more than that 115, and then you gain an extra half round because I don't think Lipsky finishes this. So I would bet Gatto and probably that Gatto inside the distance.
I like that. It covers the knockout because, like you said, Shevchenko and all that. Yeah, if they're getting finishes when it gets to the mat by knockout, it just shows that she's willing to kind of just cover up and not intelligently defend like they're looking for.
Kind of give up is what happens. Mm-hmm. So, and Gatto, but I think Gatto's so slick with them submissions, dude. She could catch her the first time they hit the ground. She could catch her in something. So.
But, I mean, Tracy Cortez was in some bad position.
She's really good too. And Cortez is like, I'm high on her. So, and she did really good. And I should have probably better, man. I should have probably better, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Who I was going to put her with, like I was going to, I'll tell you when we get there.
Yeah. All right. So that'll bring us along to our next fight then. Guru, any last words?
Not on this one.
All right. Fair enough. So, we got Ismail Bonfim versus Benoit Saint-Denis, minus 315 on Gabriel's little bro, Maheta, and the God of War at plus 260. Over 1.5 is minus 180. The under 1.5 at plus 145. Saint-Denis, actually the same age as Bonfim. He's going to have a 3-inch height advantage, 1-inch reach, 5-inch leg reach. I will say Benoit Saint-Denis, I was expecting his striking to kind of suck. His striking defense does suck, but his offense is actually legitimate. He's a really scary dude offensively in any facet of the game, whether it's in the clinch, throwing huge body kicks, hooks, 1-2 combos when he gets in your face in the pocket. I mean, I was actually kind of impressed with the striking offense of Saint-Denis, and I think it's kind of fleshed out in his 13.97 strikes. I mean, that's 1.5 times the pace of Ismail Bonfim at distance, and he lands 1.2 strikes more at distance. I think what sticks out is that Bonfim, his defense is legit as it gets. He's happy to play off the back foot. He's got great head movement, great foot movement, laterally and moving backwards. He's got good cardio, and he's willing to let guys come in and try to counter them. Then once he hurts you, he gets on the front foot and starts dictating the pace. Saint-Denis, he gets hurt, but he doesn't quite go out. I know everyone is saying that fight, I get it. It definitely could have been stopped multiple times against Dos Santos, but watching it like for the second and third time recently as I scouted Dos Santos and then Saint-Denis and was actually like, all right, let me sit down and watch. Like Saint-Denis is actually landing really heavily on Dos Santos, like even as he's being, put out there. I mean, I don't think Bonfim is going to consistently be able to land with a variety of strikes in the same type of way. But those step-in knees, the boxing combos, it should be enough at distance as long as Saint-Denis doesn't get the wrestling going. I think it's going to be a closer fight. I love the over 1.5. Fight starts round 3 and fight goes the distance stackage.
I think you're touching on a lot of interesting points there, and I honestly expect maybe Benoit Saint-Denis to get some wrestling going, possibly in the beginning, like you saw Terrence McKinney succeed with. But you've got, absolutely, I like that. I think at the end of the day, though, Benoit Saint-Denis, while he is a savage, I do think he ends up slowing down, and Bonfim has just shown just that next level, that it factor, you know what I mean? And even though he's still clearly not the best Bonfim, the dude can fight. And you saw it versus Terrence McKinney. He was in the eye of the fire, man, and he came out fucking guns blazing, just ready to rock. I mean, basically knockout of the year. Possibly to this point, I think. I mean, it's at least top 3. So, I like this fight going the distance. I think that's like the sneaky play of the week. You can get over 2.5 plus 100, and fight goes the distance at plus 125. So yeah, I like, I like that stackage. So let's go, baby.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I like Bonfim here. It could be a tough fight. We'll just see how good Saint-Denis grappling actually is. He's going to be a little bigger, but I think that's just going to give Bonfim the speed advantage here. It's kind of like why I picked Ricci last week. Like I had Jillian Robertson the week when she fought before, but last week I was high on Ricci because size matters sometimes, except when it comes to speed. And if somebody's strong and they got speed, and your size doesn't really matter at that point. It's just going to make you slower. And I think that's what's going to happen here, dude. Bonfim's hands are so freaking fast. So I'm with you guys. I'm with the chat, man. I haven't put nothing out yet. I'll probably post this tonight, actually. But I got the Bonfim over 1.5. I put 3.5 units to win 2 units on that. I got 2 other bets there. I guess it's a parlay, but to me, I used one guy to anchor 2 of them, and it's not probably going to be the guy you guys think it's going to be to anchor on. But yeah, man, I really like the over in this. I think Bonfim gets it done because I think his wrestling defense is good enough to keep this fight standing. He showed it a good dude on the Contender Series, who's a lot littler, though, than Saint-Denis. That dude had pretty good wrestling background. He couldn't get anything going. Terrence McKinney couldn't get anything going. So Saint-Denis is going to have some trouble, but I think he can get a little clinch time up against the cage, and he's one of the most durable humans ever, man. You've seen in his fight with Zaleski, and then you've seen it even against like Nicholas Stolze. He got kneed in the face, jumped kneed in the face right away, taking a dumb shot, didn't set nothing up. And Stolze, if he does that here, I'm losing my 1.5, dude, because Bonfim's knees are crazy. And if he takes a stupid shot that he doesn't set nothing up, he's going to sleep with the knee. So I hope that doesn't happen. But Bonfim, he takes his time, you know what I mean? He tends to take his time in his fights and just beats dudes up to the body and to the head. So I just expect this to be a real good fight, and I expect it to go over 1.5 just based on durability and what the past has shown. Bonfim, even though he did knock out McKinney like that, his prior 3 fights to that all went to decision. So I think we can get to 1.5 here.
Yeah, and a couple props to leave you with. Add Bonfim to the degenerate parlay we got going in this economy. That'll be the third leg. And additionally, we'll have Bonfim round 3 or decision at plus 140, or Bonfim and over 1.5 at minus 110. Both under the parlay options on DraftKings.
Nice.
Guru, any final words on this one?
Nah, man, I really, 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 really love the over 1.5. And I also very much think Bonfim wins. So, I mean, putting those smack dab together, Cody's on it. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I have Bonfim parlayed with somebody too.
Yeah. I mean, to hear that kind of confidence, I mean, I have no choice but to tail. By the way, can we talk about TB how we only put like a unit on an Ilya Topuria and over 4.5 minutes bet at plus 115? You should have bet our house, our life. Like that was the easiest fucking money in the universe.
Ricci was pretty easy.
It's unfortunate. We bet Roberts and like.
It's
all good though. But listen.
I mean, I'm saying after the fight. It wasn't before the fight tonight. Exactly. I'm saying after the fight.
Yes,
like, after. Yeah.
So why don't we have the super chat on? Starlin, you're an awesome guy for asking and wanted to contribute to the show. However, unfortunately, we're gonna need at least. I think they just changed it on YouTube. I think we need 500 subscribers in this economy to get some super chats.
We're only 100 away, guys.
And let's just say, come on, load it up, people. Throw a subscribe, like button. This video, get the people to the super chat stage at 500 subs. We're so close, and we would love for you guys to contribute. But just remember, it's always free. We always want to give out our content for you people because, like, at the end of the day, we do it for you guys. And if you want to show a little love to us for our appreciation for you, we love that. But
we do have a link in our link. We never have taken one, but we do in our link tree. On the top thing, you can support the show in all of our link trees, TV, and we never got one, and we've never asked for one.
No,
and this is not us asking for it now, but it is there.
Yes, if you just in case you were stumbling across anywhere. But anyways, we move on. Oh, and look at that. That was actually pretty perfect timing. Yeah, please like and subscribe. So there you go. On to our next fight here. We got the hook. We got Bruno Ferreira versus the fearless Nursultan Ruzaboyev. And to take a fight on short notice against Bruno Ferreira, you do have to be fearless. So they did a great job with Ruzaboyev's nickname. Got to give them real credit. And Bruno, he looks like he's been on like TRT since he was 2 years old. So the Hulk totally fits also. But I got to say, he's actually had some pretty incredible technical ability. Minus 215 Ferreira, plus 185 on the fearless. Over 1.5 at plus 170, under 1.5 at minus 210. They think this thing ends fast, and Ferreira, man, he's got the ability to make that happen. He showed some good get-ups, ability to get out of danger against Rodriguez in his UFC debut. Also, a bit of a short notice matchup there for Mr. Ferreira himself, who owns 10 first round finishes in his career with 10 wins. So does Ferreira find that again? Can Nursultan survive a bit here? But I think minus 215 is getting a bit out of hand. Overall, can't recommend any straight plays here, but this is the fourth and final leg. You might as well string them all together because we got the sketchy parlay riding on Bruno Ferreira to survive defensively from the grappling situations. I don't think Ruzaboyev is really that great on the feet or on the mat. He seems opportunistic, but I like Ferreira here. It's a bit scary. Can we get some good round one numbers, Guru? You got anything cooking here? Because I think this is tough to really suggest a big play on any side.
Yeah, I mean, Bruno Ferreira has been kind of priced out at this economy. Don't really enjoy that line. While I think that I think his best chance to actually win is not necessarily to win by knockout, but to mix it up and use his wrestling like he can. He has shown the ability to change levels and use offensive wrestling. So as long as Bruno Ferreira doesn't gas out, which again might be the problem because the dude has 1 million round one knockouts, 7 round one finishes of his 10. So, you do have to be a little concerned there. But let's see. Round one knockout for Bruno Ferreira is only plus 120. So I'd rather take round two at plus 650 and just hope that we get there somehow. But honestly, what you've seen from Nursultan is, like you said, he's just he's an interesting prospect here. You know, he's got some solid striking. He's willing to use the calf kick, right? He's got some devastating ground and pound. You've seen he's got a ton of experience, 34 wins, 12 KOs, 20 submissions, at least 18 round 1 finishes. So, like, the dude's a finisher killer himself. I mean, he's been fighting fucking cans, but I mean, he's doing what he's supposed to do. So, very, very interesting. Yeah, I just think that I do like Bruno, but fuck. Very, very dangerous, especially at this line. You've seen it time and time again. Who's the fucking guy that beat Jamie Malarkey? Dude's losing, 18 minutes, losing the whole fucking fight, and he clips him and wins. Like, sometimes the line, and then you look back and you're like, well, why the fuck did you parlay Jamie Malarkey minus 500? That doesn't make any sense. Because, sometimes the line is just fucked. So this might be one of those situations because the guy can scrap.
Yeah, man. I like Bruno Ferreira a lot in this fight, dude. I think he's got the striking advantage. He's got the power advantage for sure. He's got the wrestling advantage, and then his BJJ looks good. And that doesn't even matter because he's not even trying to BJJ you, dude. He's trying to punch your face off when you're on the ground. And there's Sultan, man. I've watched him get mounted by like 3 different dudes and just lay there for a minute while they're punching him in the face till he can get the reversal. And I don't think you can do that with Ferreira. You know, he hits you like 3-4 times, you go to sleep. I love Ferreira. He's minus 220. I couldn't really do nothing with that. I wanted to, but I just had some other reads. I thought I just played this card kind of safe, man, because it's tough. But I really do like Ferreira here. I think he's got the power. I think he's the better fighter. Sultan, like he's got a good Kimura. I've seen that. He's got a good Kimura, but like I seen him getting taken down like more than he was landing takedowns. I seen him be a real submission over position, and his striking, he threw some decent punches, but he wasn't throwing too many kicks or nothing, man. And he more wanted to get it to the ground. So I think that if Bruno wants to keep this fight standing, he can. And if he's having success striking, he'll just keep it standing and beat him up. If he's not liking the striking, he can take him down and beat him up. So like I said, they didn't have no over-unders or nothing out on this, and they was juiced to the gill anyways at the casino. But give me Ferreira. And that's another thing. Like, I think Ferreira finishes him, right? But it's not like Nur Sultan. The under 1.5 isn't a gimme, dude, because this dude's got 44 fights. He's only been finished. He's got 8 losses, but I think only 2 of them are finishes, and them was a while ago. So this dude ain't easy to finish. He's very durable and tough, and he's got decent cardio, to keep going. So I wouldn't even say that under 1.5, and it's like minus a couple hundred, right, is even like fully worth it. So I stayed away from this fight in every area. But yeah, man, I stayed away, man. But it's going to be a fun fight to watch, I'll tell you that.
Can I ask, like, do we have to play like a fight starts round 2 type play simply because like all we've seen with these fights where everyone expects a finish that these fights don't fucking finish? So like, do we have to? Like at under 1.5 is minus 210.
Do you think
that's a little crazy?
Do you think that dude can finish Bruno in the first round? I know he's got a ton of finishes. He's finished 32 of his 34 wins, right?
Right, and he has at least 18 round 1 finishes.
But
so that
is
his way that he wins.
Never been finished. And then their Sultan's only been finished twice in his 8 losses, and them were a while ago. So it's like I want to see in his 8 losses, I need to see 5 or 6 finishes where this dude's kill or be killed. But he just seems to be kill, and if he can't kill them, he survives to the end.
Fight to start round 2 plus 110. 5 minutes.
I like
5 minutes for plus money.
I think this new Sultan can, because even if he gets hurt, he can go to the ground, survive for a little bit. Maybe, dude. Bruno hits fucking hard, dude. Even on the ground, like because the thing is with Bruno is what's so good. He knocks you out with either hand, and he's switching stance. That's what got Gregory Rodriguez, dude. He was in the right hand stance. Gregory came in through a punch. He feinted with the right, or like he feinted in the left hand stance, went to the right, switched back all the way to the end to the left hand stance, and hit him with that left coming in, like. And so he can knock you out on the ground with either hand with his ground and pound. It's like the Fedor, you know, how he KO power in both hands. Not everybody can do that. Most people hit you real hard with their dominant hand and pretty good with the other, but some people can just knock you out with either hand. And that's what this dude got. So betting that to hit round 2, I like it, but you're going to be getting them bet sweats. That's for sure, man.
Oh yeah, shout out Daz on them bet sweats.
We ain't living if we ain't sweating, baby.
Yeah, man. Who needs a sauna, right?
Yeah, that's it, man. So hell yeah,
Yeah.
think we're on to our next fight here. We got Kevin, the Motown Phenom Lee versus Renat the Gladiator Fakhretdinov. This is a battle of the of Kevin coming back to the UFC, trying to find his home in a weight class at welterweight, back again, 170. Long time contender at 155. We got plus 175 on Kevin Lee, minus 205 on Fakhretdinov, over 2.5 minus 160, under 2.5 plus 130. I tend to think that this fight is probably going to go over, if anything. Fight probably goes the distance.
Definitely.
And I think Fakhretdinov is going to face a lot more resistance than he's used to in his career so far. Michailidis even provides some resistance against your boy Renat Fakhretdinov. I see Michailidis getting in on some single legs, reversing a thing here or there, but it's like, yeah, you can't play around too long when your name is Andreas Michailidis and you're facing Renat Fakhretdinov. But I think Kevin Lee, as at least in round 1 and 2, I can trust him to be, a pretty solid wrestler. It's just that Daniel Rodriguez fight that really left like bad taste in my mouth. But now we're getting like plus 175 here. My biggest concern, how bad did he hurt his knee against Diego Sanchez? And is he just going to get hurt every time he's back in the octagon? Because he could just be broken down at this point, multiple knee reconstructions. I tend to just was leaning the dog a bit, and I think Kevin Lee, based on experience, is the right idea. But in practice, is it really the best answer to be betting Kevin Lee when he's probably not going to finish Renat? I like the over and the fight goes the distance, I think, a bit better than a side. But I'll take a little doggy shot, probably. Little Kevin Lee action.
Yeah, I think the fight really does go the distance more often than not. So what is that line at fight goes the distance?
Well, over 2.5 was minus 160. But
Fight goes the distance is minus 135. I think that's an unbelievable play. I would like 2 units on that. I mean, I really do. I do think it goes the distance.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think the only person that would be getting the finish is fucking Kevin Lee. Kevin Lee may knock him out. Like that would be the way to get the finish. So I really like. I came into this fight on Renat because I've seen some defensive wrestling problems right from Kevin Lee. You've seen him get tapped out by RDA, right? But you saw him get tired versus Daniel Rodriguez. I'm just not necessarily sure what we've seen from Fakhretdinov in terms of like him having to face like resistance of really any sort. What happens if he gets taken down? What happens if he gets clipped? What happens if Kevin Lee just comes out with a very like if you watch that RDA fight, which again is at 170 pounds as well, and this is in 2019. RDA still top of the division, but 4 years ago, dude, again is just unbelievable shape. Kevin Lee wins the first 2 rounds. I mean, he puts an absolutely ridiculous pace on RDA. RDA knows to weather the storm, and then eventually breaks Kevin Lee. But I mean, if that Kevin Lee shows up that fought RDA, Renat might be in for a tough night, at least for me at this money line. You see Renat as a minus 130 versus fucking Brian Battle, who we know can't stuff a takedown, who we know doesn't have wrestling like that. Now he's a minus 205 to fucking Kevin Lee, dog. I mean, the dude can scrap, man. So, I mean, has he lost whatever, 4 of his last 6? Yeah, man. But there are also to Tony Ferguson. It's in 2017. Raging Al, who just has his number. RDA. And your champ, Charles the Bronx. And he takes Daniel Rodriguez on short notice. So I'm taking a doggy shot, but I really, 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 really like that fight goes the distance prop.
Yeah, man. My favorite play of this week's Renat Fakhretdinov. That Kevin Lee is washed, dude. He's coming off 2 knee ACL surgeries. He looked terrible against Diego Sanchez. I know he hurt his knee early on or whatever, but his body doesn't hold up. His gas tank doesn't hold up. He's not a crazy knockout guy standing up. I mean, he knocked out Gregor Gillespie, but that's because Gregor Gillespie don't really have no stand-up, and he didn't have nothing to worry about there. Fakhretdinov's going to be way bigger. At 170, Fakhretdinov's a real 170 dude that could fight at 185 if need be. I think he has. I think that's where he knocked out Eric Spicely. Kevin Lee is a 155 or 5'9". He has a little longer reach, but that's not going to matter here. Also, Kevin Lee, he's slower at 170. Because he's just a short, muscled up dude, which causes a gas tank to like stall out even quicker. The Kevin Lee that fought RDA 5 years ago, that's not the same Kevin Lee we're gonna get like at all. You seen even in his last fight when he fought Daniel Rodriguez, who has subpar takedown defense and grappling in that. And Kevin Lee landed like one takedown in the first round, held him down for a little bit, and then in the second round landed a takedown, and then Rodriguez flipped it, reversed him, and then after that he couldn't land no takedowns. He was tired, stale on the feet, and I think Fakhretdinov has decent striking. We just haven't had to see a ton of it, and I think Fakhretdinov is going to have way better wrestling. If you look on his record, even on Tapology, he wrestled some other Russian dude and beat him in a wrestling match just recently, and that dude retired after 2 rounds. Like, this dude's a beast, man. He's got good wrestling. He's going to have better wrestling than Kevin Lee. Like, Kevin Lee does have pretty good wrestling against most people that he's wrestling that doesn't have that great wrestling. You know, like when he came in and did that against RDA has pretty good wrestling, but it's not like the best wrestling in the world. And then Kevin Lee just like muscled him. That's why he wears out. But I don't think that Kevin Lee is going to be able to beat Fakhretdinov in wrestling at all. And I think Fakhretdinov just being the naturally bigger dude. Like I said, I love Fakhretdinov. I have him parlayed with as an anchor with Bonfim. I used him as an anchor because I didn't like a lot of spots. I didn't want to make 5 different bets on this card, to be honest. So I just used Renat. And instead of just betting 400 on him, I basically just parlayed 2 of the other guys. One with Bonfim and one with Guram. And the one with Bonfim is basically even money. I think it's minus 105. And the one with Guram was like minus 137, which I'll take that as a money line. And yeah, man, I think this is gonna and then we haven't even, I forgot to touch on the cardio situation, dude. Kevin Lee loses he don't even have much steam, not as a striker, but in the first round, but even his grappling, everything loses steam in the second. And Renat, if anything, showed crazy cardio in both of his fights. And he's going to be the bigger dude. And if this just starts grappling right off the bat, even if Kevin Lee starts winning and Renat works his way back up and Kevin Lee lands another takedown, little ground and pound, Renat gets his way back up. Eventually, Renat's going to take him down and Kevin Lee's going to lay there. And then they're going to come out in the second. And Kevin Lee's going to be a little more, you know, holding his big ass muscles and slow. Dude, he's only fought a couple times in the last couple of years and he hasn't looked good in any of them. So to think he's going to come back after another knee surgery after the Diego Sanchez fight where he blew out his ACL, bro, that Kevin Lee, I mean, we're not, even when he was 25, I don't know if he beats Renat, like, to be honest. So this
that's
version
also true. He's so injured with his fucking knees, man. It's so, didn't he like basically blow one out versus Diego Sanchez too?
Within the first like 10 minutes. So he's coming off of that surgery, all that rehab, and then he's going to come back and be the greatest Kevin Lee ever. And he's just older, beat up. Here's another thing. UFC is not going to try to make a push on Kevin Lee for the title. Like they're not. This is just, they need to fill some stuff up. They want Renat. They want that 21-2 Russian that wears the funny hat to get this win and go challenge, you know, who some of these other dudes, some of these other big, good Russian dudes with the big records and the other dudes at the top of 170.
Yeah, shout out everybody in the chat.
Effie, what up?
Dude.
Grateful
138.
Dude.
We got Shady.
Seeing a lot of new names, boys. I really appreciate you all. I hope you're all subscribed up, checking us out. You know, and when you do subscribe, hit that alerts button too, because we go live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. So you'll get that notification real quick, and we don't send out too many, so you won't get inundated with notifications. You'll get just the right amount of notifications. You know what I'm talking about?
Just the right amount, just a little sprinkle,
just the tip.
Oh baby! All right, so as we get spicy, we're moving on to our next fight. We got Yana Foxy Santos versus Carol, the Decisionator Hosa. So Yana plus 150, Hosa at -175. Man, I love Carol Hosa against Norma Dumont because I was like, man, she's got so much volume. She goes out there and two rounds of that fight, she got into the Norma Dumont staring contest. You don't want to get into the Norma Dumont staring contest. We all know what she was staring at, and we can't blame her. But yeah, Carol Hosa, are you going to bring the fight to Yana Santos? Because this thing could get ugly in the clinch, honestly. That's where Santos kind of thrives. And I don't think Hosa really is like super successful with her offensive wrestling consistently against good big athletes. So Santos having the 3-inch height advantage, not really having much of a reach advantage. But I mean, Santos now in her second fight back after pregnancy. And Holly Holm's a pretty tough fight from a wrestling perspective, even when you're not coming off that. But we've seen time and time again in women's MMA, when you're coming back from giving birth, you know, that first fight back is really like testing the waters. So we might not get like a huge decisive victory, but it could just be like one of those like Nina Nunes putting a stamp over Cynthia Calvillo type of deals because Carol Hosa is too busy staring in the mirror at Yana Santos. So I can't confidently play -175 Carol Hosa. I'm not parlaying her, and I'm not God, but it's like you have to make a pick on this fight, right? So I'm gonna pick Yana Santos. It might be a little sprinkle, but I think she's gonna do enough in the clinch here, a ton of control time, and it doesn't all just come from takedowns. She does a lot of cage pushing and has success with knees and elbows, and I don't think that Hosa is necessarily as dangerous as like an Irene Aldana when she's not facing Amanda Nunes. I think Santos doesn't have as much to worry about from a knockout perspective coming back. So TB's got to grab his agua. I'll catch you guys in a sec.
What a weirdo. Got to grab his water. God. Golly. Didn't come prepared with his big jug.
God.
Didn't come prepared with his big jug. No, listen, it's all good. Honestly, this is a great time to get a water break because this is a great fight to have a fucking smoke break. Like, what are we doing here? I'm so. Is it just me? Am I being a jerk? I'm just not that interested in it.
Terrible fight.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Carol Hosa making her return from an ill-advised trip to featherweight, right?
They're fighting this one at featherweight too.
Wait, what? They are?
I'm pretty sure it's a featherweight fight.
Yeah, you're right. They are.
Yeah.
It says featherweight.
And it's kind of short notice for it, too.
There's no featherweight division. I don't know. What are we talking about? They got rid of what in the world? I thought they were back to 135. TB. Do you understand? There's no featherweight division. How the fuck is this fight at 145? They got rid of it, I thought. And we're back? We're back with the featherweight division.
Oh my God. So wait, I think what happened was they had no idea that Nunes was going to retire at that point. And they were like, yeah, we're going to keep on like the farce of the featherweight division. But like,
so this is the last point. Yeah. So I don't even like Carol Hosa looked, I guess, fine at 145, but lost because she was facing a legit 145er in Norma Dumont, who will never, I don't think she could ever make 135. So I don't know if she's even going to be contractually with the UFC anymore. You watch somebody like Bay Malecki, leave the UFC because she's not cutting down to 135. So Yana Santos at 145 makes no fucking sense to me either. That's why I assumed it was 135 because she's not.
It's like a short notice though. For Rosa
she's just
again.
Skinny. Obviously, she's got somewhat of the size advantage, which is kind of interesting. It's just she's just kind of skinny as fuck. So I don't know. I feel like she's just going to show up pregnant too. At 33 years old, I feel like she's also just showing up for a paycheck. I feel like she's going to be released on Tuesday. I expect Carol Hosa to bounce back into the win column. Yeah, I mean she lost that fight, but she lost that fight as against Norma Dumont as a slight underdog. So we'll take her here as a slight favorite. But I don't care.
Yeah, this is a super close fight. I would stay far away from it. I'm going to take Rosa as a pick because I think that even though she doesn't have the better clinch than Yana Santos, she has the better wrestling and striking and volume. So I think that if they get in the clinch and it gets too bad, she's going to be like, she can't control it. She should be able to land the takedowns, kind of like Holly Holm and them was, because that's all Yana Santos wants to do is clinch you. If she just wants to clinch you, if she can land a takedown where she has horrible wrestling, then she's going to take you down and beat you up. But other than that, she'll hold you up against the cage like Zach Pauga, you know what I mean, for 3 rounds and just do that. But I don't know in this one, man. I'm not betting none of it because she could sit there and hold Hosa up against the cage for 2 rounds like Dumont did, because she's bigger than her. She's bigger than Hosa, and she has a really good clinch up against the cage. And Hosa literally got held up against the cage by Dumont for 2 rounds before she really did anything. So I don't know. I'm staying far away from this. I'm just going to take Hosa. I feel like the over is pretty safe, real safe. But other than that, I don't want nothing to do with this fight.
That's the problem with Yana Santos. It's like, she's been knocked out 3 times and submitted twice. And even though Carol Hosa does have 5 wins by decision in the UFC, she does have a decent amount of, like, she has those 4 KO wins and 2 submissions herself. I just like, does Yana Santos have any durability at all?
Like, I mean, she survived with Holm for 3 rounds. She should be able to survive.
Oh, God. But Holm's like a clincher, right? I mean, that she had a. Holm had.
What's the line on this? So the under's probably
Holm had
plus 250
Holm had 10 minutes of clinch time.
Right, true that.
So like, she didn't take any strikes there. Holm literally landed 14 of 33 strikes.
Right,
like a significant distance strikes anyway. So like, there was nothing there to get her out of there. Right. Carol Hosa is actually gonna fight. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't fucking not that you can really bet a finish here. Believe me, like, this should go 15-minute smoke break. Like, you should be fine. But yeah, I just don't trust Yana at all. And her fucking husband just popped for steroids. Like, I don't like any of it. I don't know what's going on there. Oh, I don't know where she's training. I at American Top Team, but I don't know. I don't like any of it. Their camp is so big, you can just slip between the cracks. They don't give a fuck what you do.
Fair enough. All right. Save your money, folks. Save your money and don't sweat who you pick in this one. It's going to be sloppy.
No, because if you pick one and you lose money, you're going to be mad you bet that fight. There's some decent spots here.
Oh, wait. So I late change in the lineup, so we got to jump over to the fight that we just can't pick who's going to win. We got Joe Anderson Brito at minus 1250. Weston Wilson at plus 800.
Wilson!
Is that Stephen Wonderboy Thompson looking for his Wilson, wondering why he's being sent out to the dogs against Joe Anderson Brito?
Sure. It's a Castaway reference for
I know, Tom Hanks.
Uncultured swines. After this show, you need to go watch that movie if you haven't seen it. It's a classic.
Oh, wait a second. Shout out 138 MMA, the Santos point spread. Oh, Guru. That's what we've been talking about getting more into. That could be
interesting.
Saucy. A little one-round win.
It's actually not open on DraftKings because they are dirty little sluts. But when we have an option at it, we'll think about it.
Not as much of a slut as Guru is for plus money, but they're close. But Joe Anderson Brito.
Am I going to take a plus 800 on Weston Wilson?
I hope not.
No,
he's been knocked out. He's been subbed 4 times. Then Brito, while we're all saying he's live to put this guy into the next stratosphere with his hands, he could be just as live to backpack and submit him in 5 seconds like he did against Lucas Alexander. It's really just how Brito wants to win. However, like Wilson has 11 subs and he's been subbed 4 times. Seems like one of those guys that more often than not is just going to want to get to those grappling positions. So I lean more towards like Brito sub for like a prop if you really need to dig into poor grandma's couch cushions again for money that you might lose. But listen, as long as it's still there, you got to keep on digging, right?
Brito round 1. That's the only bet that you can play on.
Yes. Thank you.
Brito round 1 is the only bet you can play on this illegal
minus 500.
And maybe it's just because I have last week's tape of him absolutely murdering Chepe. I mean, just,
my God,
like complete devastation. Maybe that's just because that's fresh in my mind. But there is no chance. You just have to take Brito round 1 and move on. You take your little dart throw and that's it.
He's not even making the in this economy parlay because it's like, why the fuck
listen,
would you?
and Weston Wilson, I have no idea honestly why he's here. Respect to the guy. He's got some decent.
Does he?
I don't know. No,
no,
no.
you're like, I don't
he's
know.
He's got some experience. He's had a few fights in his time. All right.
Well, that's more than I can say. So
no, of course. The dude, right, trains out of with Wonder Boy, right? So he's doing his thing out there, and I don't know, man. He's patient, right? He's got some range finding kicks. He's high pressure footwork, willing to do needs the body, right? Willing to level change, willing to use his jiu-jitsu. At times, too willing to use his jiu-jitsu, stay on the bottom, play jiu-jitsu from his back, and kind of will rush in at times. And of course, classic Wonder Boy Thompson, he keeps his hands very, 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 very low. I mean, to his to his waist. So yeah, no, and he just got knocked out 3 fights ago, but on XMMA, which was fucking. It was a brutal knockout. He was kind of winning point fighting, and he just got slapped. So don't be surprised if he gets slapped. Don't be surprised if he gets subbed. It's Brito round 1. If you can somehow get DraftKings, sometimes will offer you can do like the Brito like under half a round. If you, like, I might even just take a grandma's couch cushion play on that. We don't have a line yet, obviously, but they will eventually. Cody, what do you think?
Yeah, man. Yeah, Brito by finish under round 1.5. I'd probably like the under 1.5 just in case. I mean, 1 round kind of sucks, even though that's the way Brito will fight and he will try to get this dude out of here. It's like, damn, man, that clock ticks fast. Like, before you know it, it's like, he's waiting to land a big shot, and you're like 2 minutes in, and you're like, damn. Well, I know that, man, they juiced the under 1.5 big time on this, so that's tough. So I think that it goes down 7 out of 10 times Brito in round 1. So, but Brito by finish is the pick, and like you said, round 1, I guess, or under 1.5 seems like a pretty good parlay piece.
Love it. No,
but that Weston dude is just like he's like a striker karate. He's trained by Wonder Boy Thompson. He has no striking defense. You know what I mean? He's like a point fighter, so he's just dependently wanting to use his head movement. And when he gets caught, man, like Ishihara, oh god,
Ishihara.
Yeah, dude, I've hit. Yeah, and I while we was talking earlier, I got into the old chocolate.
Let's go, baby.
There we go.
Chronic, baby.
He went in, baby. Let's get
it. Had to. Chronic combat, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, representing the homies. Love that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So,
love it, baby. Love it.
Yeah. So there we go. If there is some yeah, it seems that I mean, Brito's got to get this done, right? So
he will. We
gotta scoot back over here to the other fight that everyone was waiting for.
What is happening with this lineup?
Oh, because they switched a few things around. Damn. So I'm just gonna go back here. I apologize. We didn't double check the order, but we're gonna go Ivanov, Petrovic, Luana, Carolina. Sorry, some things happened with that Brito edition earlier today. I didn't get a chance to re-edit the order. So Petrovic at minus 215, Carolina at plus 185. And after watching the tape, I come away asking, how can you even make this fight in this economy? It's just like, by God, like what do you take away from Petrovic, aside from her size and attractiveness, that are making you think that she really deserved a non-contender series entry to the UFC? It reminds me, who's that other fraud that came in not too long ago? Was it the Russian Ronda?
No, she won though.
She won, right? Oh my God. Yeah. So is this going to be the same thing where it's kind of like, what is she doing here?
And the Russian Ronda was a sizable underdog.
She was. So that's where I'm like,
I'm
confused.
About?
Why is Petrovic minus 215, bro? I'm watching her get knocked down in round 1 against fucking in her last fight. And then she comes back because she's like, oh, wait, I could just kind of use the jab and then get lazy takedowns. And it still takes her 2 more rounds to find a finish in a 5-round fight. Petrovic does nothing that impresses me. And then I go turn on the Luana Carolina tape to like, oh, yes, I'm ready to fade Petrovic. Like, let's see what we got. And it's like, it's the wacky, wavy, inflatable arm guy.
Got Black Gumby.
Jesus Christ, yes.
I mean, listen, that's how she fights, man. She's fighting all like wiggly, man.
The wiggly
it's not,
wobbler.
and like, and you know what I mean? She's just kind of stiff, bro. It's crazy. But honestly, I'm with her. I'm rocking with her. I think I am. I'm rocking with Luana Carolina, yo. The absolute the level of experience, it's not even close. She's made the walk. She's grinding. She's in that fight with Joanne Wood, bro. She's right there. She beat Lupi Godinez because Lupi gassed out. How would Lupi and this girl fight in Ivana Petrovic? What would this line be, man? Come on.
It would be
Let's go. What would her and she'd probably, honestly, Ivana would probably beat the shit out of Priscilla Cachoeira too. But like Priscilla catch a beating, I like to say. But like, I don't know. At this line, you gotta take Luana Carolina, and maybe you just take her by decision, just because she's not gonna finish anybody. I just like,
to your point.
I don't know, but fuck this fight probably.
Might be better dog than Yana in that case.
That's how I at least feel about it. But listen, you got age, size, and reach with Petrovic. Like,
I want to see that though at the face-offs, though. To be honest, like
I bet you do.
Some of that regional shit, I don't trust those height reach, nor do I trust the Instagram. I need to see.
Did y'all know how she be looking, right? Like she be looking.
Looking like. Let me tell you. Oh yeah, shout out. I mean, like, come on. It's like you go. I open up Twitter and I see in my For You page 2 back-to-back tweets from the Guru. One, that post of Petrovic fight week, and then 2, you're really gonna make me bet Luana Carolina, aren't you? So if you just need to know the full Guru experience, welcome. I'm glad you guys are enjoying.
Follow me on Twitter at Guru Scouting MMA, man. Get it done.
For sure.
Oh yeah! Shout out everyone here, everyone in the chat, and Blood Money.
Oh shit!
Hell yeah!
Blood Money in the chat.
Get after it, baby. It's your turn. What you got here?
Yeah, man. I watched the tape. Everybody that watched the tape knows that this girl ain't the same Russian that's been coming in. Ain't the same type of as like Dudakova or Bleda. She doesn't have the wrestling that them girls have. Like her wrestling is Greco-Roman. She wants to grab you and take you down, grab you and muscle you down. Well, if you watch tape, you'll see the best part of Carolina's game. She's a Muay Thai world champion, and the best part of her game is her clinch, man. She's got good clinch elbows, she's got good clinch knees, and she's got a good clinch to keep this fight standing. And then from there, she's got way better striking. And this girl, she gasses out. Okay, she fought a girl with the last name like Tekken. Something looked like Tekken, right? And it was like a littler version of freaking Carolina, man, where she's like a kickboxer. She was a kung fu girl, a Chinese Sanda girl, but she's from France. And she was like winning the fight, man. She stopped most of the takedowns, but she was a little littler. She was only like 5'4" or 5'5". And she ended up getting taken down in the third because she's lower level and getting finished by this girl. But that girl was already gassed. And once she couldn't start getting the takedowns, dude, she looked terrible on the feet. And I don't think, and she's not like doing chain wrestling or nothing. Like I said, she's trying to just grab you. I did see her time a couple takedowns decently on lower level girls, but dude, I love Carolina here. I bet her, man. I bet her. I like at plus 185. She's not going to look plus 185 when this fight starts. And once she lands some big shots, some big elbows, and the clinch gets a little damage, it's going to even stop that girl's shots even more. And I don't see this Ivana just taking her down and choking her out. I didn't like her wrestling. I didn't like her striking. I didn't like her gas tank. I was seeing her losing like 3 fights until she came back and won. And I just don't think she does that here. So, because Carolina isn't even all that small herself. You know, she's 5'6". She's got a decent reach and stuff. So I actually like her. I put 2 units doing like 3.7. So, yeah. I mean, that's how I bet. I do 5 bet. Yeah, it's a numbers thing, but I like her, dude. I don't think that this girl's as good as like what this thing's showing, the numbers showing.
This is the low level women's MMA auto fade of the big favorite that is absolute trash on tape, but everything you want to see on Instagram. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
So simple as that. We are moving along in whatever order we got this shit in. Let's see our next fight. We got Alexander King Kong Romanov versus Blagoy, ya boy. I got stabbed in the heart, Ivanov. Have you heard that story before? That's his
Baga.
nickname.
Baga is
Yeah,
his nickname.
Baga. Oh yes, the Russian boogeyman. Yeah, you know what? Got to give him credit here. The only time he's been finished was all the way back in 2014 by Alexander Volkov in Bellator. Romanov. We also saw him get finished by Volkov, but that was by knockout. So Alexander Romanov here at -140, Ivanov at +120, over 1.5 at -205. That is ballooned. Under 1.5 at +120. I gotta lean Romanov here as the bigger, younger fighter, and he's not facing an absolute monster in size in one Tybura and two Alexander Volkov. I think one, the fence grab of Volkov played out large in their fight, and Tybura's ability to weather the storm in the wrestling and get to a round two was another thing that ended up playing in his favor because he could match the size of Romanov. Ivanov, while he can weather the storm, he can't really match the size and physicality, and I see him getting wrestled for at least 2 rounds. So Romanov at -140, it's a bit sketchy. I'll probably find some way to put it together with the over 1.5 once they start putting the same game parlays out for this fight. Not there at the moment, but it's looking like we'll get some plus money on that because I don't think Romanov finds an early finish on a guy who survived getting stabbed in the heart. So Romanov and over, give me that. I'll take it. But I don't think Ivanov does anything to win the fight here.
No, I can't do it. I can't.
Fuck.
I can't bet. So this is, you're right, but like Romanov facing any sort of resistance is gonna create a problem. And if he's not getting the finish, then he has to keep fighting. And if he keeps fighting, he's gonna have a heart attack. So that's not good for him. I don't know. Your point though is very valid because I mean he 10-8 Marcin Tybura in round 1. So what I want is I want a really good price on a +3.5 spread on Blagoy Ivanov. I think Blagoy will win a round. So that is what I want. I don't have that line yet, and I don't even really bet spreads. We haven't even really talked about it much on this show, but I kind of think that's the angle I want because I think he'll at least win a round. I don't know that he's going to win the fight.
Blagoy, you got to fight back. Blagoy, you got to fight back. Is he going to get finished for the first time ever? No, I don't know.
I mean, again, it's not the first time ever. Obviously, he was choked out by Volkov, but I mean, Junior Dos Santos, Derek Lewis, Tybura himself. I don't know. He's just he beats Ben Rothwell. He beats Tai Tuivasa. He beat these power punching fucking behemoths. So I can't fade Old Faithful just yet. So I want to spread bet on him. I don't even know who to fuck to pick yet. It'll probably be a game time decision type. All right, fine. I'll just begrudgingly take Romanov or something stupid. But I really want to see a line on that spread. I think that's where the money is. Blagoy should win a fucking round.
Yeah, man. I got a really, really, really good read on Romanov. I feel like I bet Tybura against him. I bet Volkov. Like I got Tybura at +380. That was just crazy. But I don't got a good read on this fight. Like I'm picking Ivanov just because I think we're gonna get fat Romanov again. That's not gonna be great because like the last time too, his coach had left like his country or whatever to go to like Russia or something like that, like 2 or 3 months before he fought, and like he didn't have. I don't even know if he had a coach or who was his coach, but it didn't look like he trained. But with Blagoy, like he's got a world champion sambo background, so he's got good judo, he's got good takedown defense and stuff. But like when he gets taken down, he doesn't have the best get up game. And if Romanov does come in shape, it's like TB said, I think he can win 2 rounds wrestling, like because it doesn't look like Blagoy has a great get up game. Then the other thing that kept me off of betting this fight at all, I would have bet Blagoy if I would have bet it. But the thing that kept me off of it is Blagoy, once he gets tired from grappling, like his striking, he's not just like this crazy power striker that's going to come knock out Romanov once Romanov gets a little tired. Like Tybura didn't even finish him, so I doubt Blagoy is. But like my man Tyler from 138 said in the chat, dude, the over 1.5 is the play on this fight. Because who knows, man? You can't be too confident on either side who's going to win this fight because this fight could play out a lot of different ways. But I like that over 1.5, man. And I would just stay away from this fight too, because both these dudes are pretty inconsistent and to bet on a fight. But I mean, if you want to look at it, like Blagoy's got the better wins. You know, he's beat Marcos Rogerio de Lima. Well, I guess Romanov did too. So I'm staying away from this. I thought I was going to want to bet Blagoy before tape just because I don't like Romanov like that. And I think he's coming in fat Romanov again. But I watched tape and it's like, man, if Romanov does get, or Blagoy does get wrestled for the first round and a half and then he gets up, but then like, I don't think he's going to be like, he could just be so gassed that he's not going to be able to pull away and win these last round and a half convincingly. So like, there's a lot of different stuff that could happen in this fight. So I'm staying far away. I don't want to lose money on either one of these.
Smart man. I'm definitely not recommending you place your bankroll on Romanov, but he's.
I kind of want to take like a plus money stab on like fight to start round 3 if I can get plus.
That's
money.
not bad. I think I don't see Blagoy finishing Romanov, and I honestly don't. I mean, like maybe Romanov could get him in a bad spot because if he's giving him the case of the beats that he gave Tybura, he might on the ground, he might finish Blagoy because he's going to be a lot bigger than Blagoy, and it's going to look a lot worse when he's hitting him and holding him down. Where Tybura is a big dude and was able to just absorb it better, and I don't think it looked as bad, but like. I think another thing too is that Tybura has way better jiu-jitsu. Like he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, where Blagoy, he doesn't have that exact same jiu-jitsu to get out of bad situations. Like he might just get held down and beat up by a big guy like this. But the problem is if this was Romanov from a couple years ago that I knew was coming in that exact shape, you could see the shoulder muscles, all that. But man, bro.
Yeah. By the way, I have that line written wrong. The under 1.5 is plus 165, not plus 120.
Okay, fair enough. Don't worry, I won't tear you a new asshole like you did.
The over 1.5 is minus 205. The under 1.5 is plus 165. I guess I didn't change it from plus 120.
Yeah. It's all good. So here we go. We got our next fight here. We got Guram Kutateladze, the Georgian Viking, versus Elvis Brenner Oliveira. Elvis Brenner.
This is your card opener, no?
Is this the one? The one and only?
We've done them all, have we not?
We've done them all.
This is the 12 fight.
Holy shit, we made it. Shout out to you guys in the chat. Couldn't have done it without you. Want to say you guys really got the party going out here. Want to thank everyone for joining us. So let's break down.
Couldn't do it without Cody either, man. Jeez.
And Cody, my God, what a
appreciate you guys having me on, man.
Incredible.
Anytime, dude, for real.
So it was a good time.
We're not done yet, though.
Yeah. Oh, baby. We're cooking something up here. It's the showstopper. We got Guram Kutateladze. I mean, minus 750. And Brenner at plus 550. The over 2.5 at minus 125. Under 2.5, minus 105. I think that's kind of what sketches me most about this fight is that they're predicting it to go over and they have a guy favored by like minus 750.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Cody. I know what you told us earlier. I'm a little sketched out and I feel like the fight goes the distance at plus money and even Brenner plus 550 could have some significant value. But at the end of the day, I mean, Guram is a killer. And I get why he's a significant favorite here. I think Brenner does what it takes defensively grappling to survive bad positions on the mat. And I think on the feet, he brings enough chaos himself while also having been in a lot of wars in the gym at Shoot the Box and never having been finished. But the fact that he does have 3 losses and Tukugov did land some solid strikes on him.
Tukugov won the fight.
Yes. But who had all the damage? Who had all the damage on their face?
No, it's not Elvis Brenner. That's for sure. What do you his calf? His calf was a little swollen. Oh my God, get him a fucking Band-Aid.
His nose was busted.
He's fine. His nose was crooked when he came into the damn fight. What are you gonna blame that on Guram too? His nose is in left field, man. Get the fuck out of here. His nose is crooked. Leave me alone.
You got Guram?
Damage.
You got Guram at minus 750.
No,
Guru.
You can't. Guram in this economy. I understand what Cody's doing, and that's why he makes money because he's gonna end up at this. At the end of the day, the Guram wins more times than not. So I get why. 88.2% implied probability at minus 750. I mean, he has to win more than 9 times out of 10 for you to make money on this situation. It's very, very difficult. Elvis Brenner did not win his last fight, so he shouldn't win this fight either. He's facing a high-level guy in Guram, but Guram cutting weight for the Malarkey fight? How did that even? Yeah, Kutateladze had to withdraw, right? So I don't know.
He had like
exactly
visa issues though.
Was it that week? Oh yeah, it was just a couple days before though, right? Wasn't it like 2 days before, 3 days before? So
Yeah, I
I don't
think
know
it was
what.
like visa issues.
Yeah,
Though.
that's fair. But either way, then to me, then he's possibly preparing for a weight cut. Either way,
Right,
it's been about a month, 3 weeks. TB kind of just hinted at what the issue is. At an 88% implied probability, it's not that I don't think that Guram's gonna win or that Elvis Brenner actually has a path to victory. It's that if this fight is in the hands of the judges, they're smoking crack, they're licking each other's buttholes. Like we don't know what they're doing. So he could just steal another one. And Guram, while again he's fantastic. Listen, I really like Guram. Everybody likes Guram. He's one of the more exciting fighters in the division. But he does like to go to war too. Oh my God, Shavkat versus Kelvin Gastelum.
Nice.
That's tough.
I just got announced.
Oh
yeah,
no.
just got announced.
Oh God! And the other significant news: I've been called into Guru's office because I'm fucking fired.
You're fucking fired. It's over for you, Skeeter. Get your sloppy Joe mix and get the fuck out of here. It's over for you.
So to give you a little context on that, I was texting Guru about him being a sloppy hoe, and my phone might have corrected to sloppy Joe, and I think that's significant. Funny. So appreciate all you guys living in the TV and Guru world. Cody, what do you got to close us out here, man?
Yeah, man. I'm going with Guram. He's better everywhere. Even his jiu-jitsu is phenomenal. He's bigger, dude. Brenner's fought at 145 pretty much his whole career, but he's good. He's not bad. I wish he would go down there. He actually had a really good fight with Gabriel Santos, who we just seen fight Onama, and we've seen fight Lerone Murphy. So he's got decent stand-up, throws a lot of leg kicks, like you said, trains with Charles Oliveira, but I mean, Guram's way better striking, has the takedown defense to keep this fight standing, where he has the way better striking and beat him up. And if he wanted to take Brenner down, he could beat him down or beat him up, take him down and beat him up and stay safe. And if Brenner does land like a takedown, he does have like 11 submissions and he's really good on the ground, but Guram is slick on the ground. You seen when Gamrot took him down in the first round of that fight and in the third, he was able to stay safe, scramble, get up so yeah, man, I like Guram everywhere, and I love what you guys said about that over 2.5. I wanted to bet that the casino wouldn't drop it. I think this goes over. Brenner is tough as hell. If you see him in the Santos fight, he takes big shots. He took some big shots against the Hugov. He's never been finished. He's good everywhere, so it's not like if he just gets taken down, he's going to get subbed or whatever. But I mean, I think Guram's going to put some beating on him way more than Tuhugov did. So this could be his first finish. But yeah, man, give me Guram. I got him parlayed too with Renat. I used Renat. I was going to bet Renat 400, 4 units to win 2. And then I'm just like, man, I like Bonfim and I like Guram. So why not use them to bank it? All right. So Renat was minus 200. I was going to put 400 to win 200. But when I added in Guram, who I really do think's better everywhere and going to win, it took it down to minus 137. So it saved me $73. And then if you do that, where I put 350, if you do it on 2 units, like it saved me like $180, like 1.8 units by adding him on actually. So
right.
Yeah, but
you do. Like, I mean, he is better everywhere. He should win.
Yeah, I mean, there's always something could happen, but like Guram's way better than Tuhugov too. Like yeah. I just think that I like him, and I like Bonfim, so
yeah, I like Bonfim too.
Yeah.
And then to put him with Renat, who I think I like almost better than both them guys. Maybe not better than both of them, but I really do think Renat gets this win. I think that by 4 minutes into the first round, he's the one winning the wrestling exchanges. And from there, Kevin Lee don't get stronger as the fight goes. You know what I mean? He's going to start accepting them positions, and it's going to be game over.
Fuck my life. I really don't. I hate Kevin Lee too. That's the other problem. I haven't said anything yet on the pod. TV may or may not know that I fucking hate. I've never liked Kevin Lee. I was rooting for Al both times. Like I fucking hate Kevin Lee. Yeah. And I was on and I hate Kevin Lee even more because I was on Gregor Gillespie. Like, I really like his brother. It's like the fucking opposite. Keith Lee's the fucking man.
Is that
Guru
he does like the
DMX?
food reviews.
Dude,
and stuff.
He's changed his fucking life. He was like a mediocre fighter, and he's literally like, I think he's making millions. Right? I think he's like literally setting himself up for like sustained success because of this TikTok shit, which is unbelievable. And he's going to be in Kevin's corner this weekend. Very, very cool.
Wow. Hey, want to just say thank you guys in the chat, all the new viewers today. All the new subscribers, gained 4 new subscribers during the show. We are now 2 away from 400. Don't be shy. Be our 400 subscriber.
Do it.
Try to get that thing done. Make sure, link in description to go follow Blood Money MMA Bets. I'm sure you guys already are. If you aren't, go fix that issue. But end of the day, we do this every week. We do it for you guys. We really love being a part of this community. I'm not going to post a hate message if you don't buy our merch. I promise. We're not going to make merch. It's going to be fine. We love you guys no matter what. We'll never make you pay us money for our content. Always free. The best guests like Blood Money. And just want to say, thank you so much because it could get hard out there in the real world. But every time we come out here to break down these fights or get to watch the fights on the weekends, it's a little vacuum and keeps us all sane. And I think we're all here for the same reason. So as crazy as we can all get out here on Twitter and be hating on each other and posting a bunch of stupid shit, I just, I hope we take a second and not take this whole thing for granted and really enjoy the community and all the great people in it, like Guru and our boy Cody out here, because honestly, 2 of the best guys out here from my perspective. So, Cody, what do you got to say before I let Guru take us away?
Nothing, man. I just appreciate you guys having me on. I'm lucky. I'm glad to be on because most of the time I can't do shows during the week when I'm working. I happen to be off this week, so I'm super happy you guys had me on, man. And this was a fun show. Hit the bong a couple times. Had a good time, man. We're gonna win some money this week. I'm about to get my 6th winning week in a row. Got to get to 10. It's the only way you can get to 20. You know what I mean? Is to get to 10. So, yeah, man, just follow me on Twitter at MMA or Blood Money MMA Bets. Somehow my Instagram got deleted or it's on suspension or something, verification. So, but yeah, man, just YouTube and Instagram or YouTube and Twitter at the moment. You can find me and get some bets and stuff.
Yeah, listen, Cody, seriously, thank you so much for coming on. We had organized this a little while in advance, so I really, really appreciate you being able to make it. And if we need to do that again because you need to get off work, let me know. We definitely got to do because we definitely got to fucking do it again. That's what's
right. Oh yeah. So, and we'll get you back
man,
on our show too, man.
Love it, man. We really had a good time as well. So listen, if you're not following Blood Money MMA Bets, you're making a fucking mistake. Go follow Cody over there, man. And guys, listen, thanks so much for tuning in. You can follow my awesome co-host at TV Scouting MMA, Twitter Verdict, Instagram, and Tapology. You can follow me, the Guru Scouting MMA, Twitter Verdict, Instagram, and Tapology. We will be back next fucking week. UFC 290, 291, 290, 291, 290. I did
291.
290. Going once, going twice. No. UFC 290. Alexander Volkanovski defending his belt versus Yair Rodriguez, the interim champ. Unbelievable fight. We're gonna have lucrative MMA on. Cannot fucking wait. Card of the year. We're gonna be breaking it down the day after my 30th fucking birthday, which is just weird as fuck.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, thank you, man. Really appreciate that. Crazy. Yeah, I feel old as shit.
Enjoy them 20s while you got them.
They're gone. 1 week left. So.
Enjoy them motherfucking 20s.
They're gone, brother. They're gone.
That's
it. I'm old as fuck now. But yeah, listen, thanks so much for tuning in. And let's cash them tickets, boys.